Hey everyone, this is Jenna Diedrich, and I'll be talking today about incorporating YouTube into the digital services at Galena Public Library. So, a little bit of background for the Galena Public Library. It's located in a small rural town, Galena, Illinois, which is in the tri state area of Wisconsin, Iowa, and Illinois. The library was established in 1894, and it's been in the current building seen here since 1908. The population size serves roughly about 4,600 people, with a lot of these being transplants from the Chicago area retirees. So, a grand portion of our user population are 65 plus. The digital resources started coming into the library around the late 90s with the beginning of and it started with the automation process of the catalog. And ever since its establishment, the board of trustees has always been committed to staying current and making sure that the library has been offering the most innovative services. And we can see that actually in a newspaper article from 1909, and it says here that the Galena now has a modern library building fully equipped with up-to-date furniture and fixtures and is ready for aggressive work. This was printed, like I said, in 1909, and it's just highlighting the fact that the library is committed to the community and how we can continually evolve and supply our users with the most up-to-date information. The current digital services that are offered by the Galena Public Library are pretty much what most public libraries are offering right now. We have a virtual reference via chat that's just plugged into the website via the Facebook Messenger. We also offer virtual reference via email. We have a library card registration on the homepage of the website. People can submit a really easy form. We also have an OPAC. We do a monthly e-newsletter, and we also take care of local research requests. Because Galena is such a historic town, we do a lot of local research, and we have a pretty good archival and historical room. With Galena being located in Illinois, we have something special here called the IPLAR report, which is done at the end of every fiscal year. And it's the Illinois Public Library annual report. So, in these two photos here are actually portions of the IPLAR. And so we count as much again and as every libraries do, we count every single transaction, circulation, databases, everything that we have. So within here, you can see where the arrow is that our electric content use for the fiscal year 2021 was just above 7,000 usage. And that just means, for every stream of Canopy or for every ebook downloaded from Hoopla, that goes into that count. So 7,000, especially during the year of COVID with lots of library closures, is a pretty good number. And our e-content use saw a very large jump while shutdowns were occurring. So with COVID, we had a pretty unique problem with our usage. The first problem here, the community was very unsure whether the building was open or closed. They didn't know that they could access us, even though we tried to get the word out about curbside services and things like that. Another problem was that we had really expanded our options of digital resources, and the community just wasn't aware of them. And as they became aware of them, they didn't know how to use them. So when we got something new like Creative Bug, a crafting database, they had no idea how to use it, meaning like simple things, meaning like they didn't know how to log into their account. And because each of these databases is set up differently, you log into each one differently, you access its its videos and its content differently. So that is leading us to our proposal. We would like to propose that the library initiate a YouTube channel. And by doing this, we would start creating instructional videos on our digital resources, and then we can archive them to YouTube. This will do will it allow our patrons to access these videos on their own time. So it's not something like a program that's only available in that moment in time. People have very busy schedules, and COVID has really rearranged the way people use their library. Uh, People have gotten out of the practice of coming to the library every Tuesday after work. So by creating these videos and then putting them in a place that's already used, we can attract new users. The target audience for this instructional content, we've got two. The first one would be adults, anywhere from early 20s and on, and then we also wanna market towards young adults. And again, this would include current library users, the underserved, people who live in our community who might not have internet at home or who speak a different language than English, something like that. And then also non users, people who don't use the library at all. So, one of the questions that we can have is how does YouTube fill a service gap? Well, we've noticed during COVID that our reach is very minimal. People have really relied on the physical building to use the library. So, by increasing our digital footprint, we expand our library's reach. You don't have to visit the physical building to use our services. And it also provides service to homebound patrons, people who cannot leave their homes or people who just are uncomfortable leaving their homes. As COVID continues to rage, we aren't seeing the great usage that we've seen in the past. Circs are down, visits are down. So by continuing to provide innovative and new services, we can continue to attract users and gain new users. So why YouTube? Well, in a huge study from Omnicore just this year in 2021, they found that 81% of all adults use YouTube, and there's over a billion videos streamed a day. Of this 81% of adults, 95% are between the ages of 18 and 29, 91% are between the ages of 30 and 49, and 45% are over 65. The age gap between 49 and 65 data was not available for that set. It's unknown whether Omnicore didn't gather that data or if it just was unavailable at the time of the study. So because we're really trying to making these videos for our target audience of adults and young adults, this 18 to 49 is a really great age group. We see a lot of college age students, they stop using their public library because they're going to college, and people in those 20s to mid to late 30s who are starting families, everything kind of starts becoming about children's services. And to attract adults and keep them aware of adult services, I think YouTube's a really great place to start that. YouTube has an entire suite of really useful analytics that will make for easy measurement. In the first photo here, you can see that there's always updated information. You can choose the dates in which you want to view this data. So for example, this, says 101 views in the last 28 days. It'll tell you whether that's more than usual, less than usual, or if you're on target, how much watch time has occurred on your videos, and if you've gained any new subscribers. The bottom clip here is for a very specific video. So this video it'll tell you how many views each individual video has gotten, what the watch time was on that video, and if that video garnered additional subscribers. So this video here was able to gain 9 subscribers just by people watching that. And subscribers are those who will get notifications of any new content that gets published on the library's YouTube channel. So, in order to implement a YouTube channel into the library services, there's a lot of things to think about. The first is staffing. How many staff members are we going to need? Budget, how much is this going to cost? Are we going to need to buy more technology? Are we going to need to buy equipment, software, things like that? Accessibility, how can we make videos that are obviously visual in nature, how can we make those accessible to people who are visually impaired? And then also marketing, how we've already seen that we have a problem at Galena Public Library where we aren't always able to connect with our community and make them aware of the services we provide. So with a brand new service like YouTube, how can we market that to make sure that it still gets in the hands? So a really strong marketing plan will have to be created. So with technology and equipment, what will we need? What do we already have? We really have to take stock of what the library already has before we can move on. A big thing is just having a regular desktop computer that we can use to upload our videos to and to edit and to overlay music and things like that. A high quality camera, which currently all of our smartphones have very high quality lenses in them, so taking video will not be a problem. Microphone, that's equipment that we already have because for programming. So the only real things that we may need to acquire are something like editing software, but there are a lot of free software bundles online that we can download. So how do we create these videos? How do we make them unique and stand out and ensure that we are adding on the correct tags and descriptive factors to optimize our spot within the larger YouTube world? There's a lot of really great resources online that explain how YouTube can be used in public libraries. The super library marketing has a lot of really great key factors to focus on for content creation. The number one being length. Videos that are very long in length aren't going to get watched, and they're also going to be very tedious in the creation process. So, by keeping our videos short, anywhere from 2 to 5 minutes is going to be that key window that will attract users and will keep users for the length of the video. A title that gets straight to the point, it tells our users what they can expect. A video description and tags and keywords, that's really going to be vital to how our videos will show up in the algorithm when users input their inquiries. An attractive thumbnail, that's the small photo. We want something that's, again, easy to read but still eye grabbing. And the last most important part is creating a schedule. If we don't continually update and provide videos, then our YouTube channel is just going to become a wasteland, essentially. So, by creating a schedule, we know when we can publish new videos for our subscribers so they know that content will be continuous. And here's a few examples of what we can do. So one of the resources that we have is Canopy, which is a film streaming service, and there are libraries already out there who have started this kind of similar project. A simple search in YouTube of how to use Canopy brings um, a lot of clips up of libraries who have provided this. I don't think by the our library creating its own channel, doing this similar thing is going to get lost because we will attract our own patrons and our own community, and they'll find us and they'll know to continue looking for us. So, this is an example of one resource that we can make an instructional video for. And then this is an example of how to use Hoopla. So, you'll see here that there are 3 different libraries who have made how to use Hoopla videos, and each of their thumbnails is very different but still eye catching, and you know exactly what the content is going to be. Creating a marketing plan is going to be a vital part of the process. So we've identified here that we're going to want to develop a multi-step marketing strategy that will diversify our promotional strategies. So get the word out in as many ways as possible. We're going to want to be able to identify those promotional strategies in ways that we reach current underserved and unserved patrons. And then we also want to develop a communication plan that can keep staff up to date and trustees up to date on what the library is offering through their YouTube channel. So that way, when staff is at the circulation desk, they can communicate this information to our patrons. When we go back and we measure to see if these instructional videos archived on YouTube have been useful, there's different ways we can do that. Like we talked about before, YouTube has a really great analytic suite that will give us a lot of that information as far as quantitative data goes. How many the video counts, our click through rate, our reach, our engagement, our subscribers, how many new subscribers we've gotten every single month. So, all of that can be compiled into our monthly statistics. And then another thing that we'll want to look at is the qualitative data. So, patron feedback. And one way we can do this is by engaging in the comment sections with our patrons on the videos. And then a second way we can do that is when we see our patrons, "Hey, have you checked out our YouTube video? What do you think? What do you like?" And, as we also identified, we'll want to continue doing focus groups and surveys in our town halls to regularly check in with our patrons throughout the year to make sure that this is a service that they'll want to continue to see. And another great thing that we can do too is as we make these videos on the digital resources, we can then expand the service and identify different ways that these videos might be helpful. So, for example, within the focus groups, we might find that patrons are looking for digital readers advisory services. They don't want to come into the library, but they want to talk with library staff about, hot new reads, what the library staff is enjoying. So, by creating individual RA videos of different staff members, I think will be a great way for the patrons to continue to connect with us and for us to expand this really exciting service. Well, thank you so much for listening. You can visit the Galena Library website at galenalibrary.org, and our YouTube channel is listed here with a few of our most recently recorded videos. Thanks, everyone.